Brilliant. Thanks very much, Joe, and welcome to everyone to today's webinar. My name is Tom, and I'm an e-commerce specialist here at the Department for International Trade in the e-exporting team. Today, we're going to be talking about eBay requiring new item specifics on the 22nd of February. We're going to go through some tips and tools to help improve your performance. We'll also follow that by a Q&A. So do keep your questions coming in. Make sure that you put them into the Q&A box on your screen there. Today I am joined by Chris Cook, who is Head of Customer Success at Optiseller. And first of all, I'm going to take a few moments just to show a couple of slides on the different types of support available from the Department for International Trade. So Department for International Trade has a number of services designed to help companies. That's whether you're just starting to export or increase your exports to new and existing markets. The e-exporting program that I work in was set up in 2014, and that was to help UK companies to sell through online channels specifically. So there are 4 key services which you can see on your screen now that we offer. First of all, we partner with marketplaces around the world. In some cases, we've negotiated some exclusive deals. That might be a reduction in platform fees, reduced commission rates, and other introductory offers. Secondly, we have a tool called Selling Online Overseas. I'll show you a bit more about that in an upcoming slide. Thirdly, we run what we call great promotions. This is where we have typically negotiated some free merchandising adverts for brands, typically on a homepage of a marketplace, which can really see an uplift in sales. And finally, we have a network of e-commerce advisors. They're located around the UK, and they help UK businesses one-to-one with anything to do with e-commerce. So it might be troubleshooting a marketplace seller account issue, it might be introducing some kind of service provider, perhaps it's a logistics provider or something like that, working with integrators and so on. So absolutely anything. If you haven't already, do get in touch with your local DIT office. Take advantage of that free support available. The next slide here shows you the great.gov.uk website. And this is where you can find more about the DIT e-exporting program. Really great brands who do well marketplaces internationally. And it's also where you can find the Selling Online Overseas tool that I mentioned. So this is the Selling Online Overseas tool. It's pretty much a marketplace finder. So on the left-hand side, you select the category of products that you sell. So it might be food and drink, it might be fashion, or another category. On the right-hand side, you select the region and the country that you're interested in selling to. Hit the Find Your Marketplace button, and you'll be displayed a bunch of different marketplaces that we think might be relevant to your business. Then once you've clicked into a particular marketplace, this one shows Amazon, and it will show you everything you need to know about the marketplace. So from seller fees to payment info or any translation help or absolutely anything about the marketplace should be on that page. And then you go through and apply, and we'll help you with that onboarding process. So that is a very, very quick overview of the e-exporting program and the help available from the Department for International Trade. I'm now going to hand over to Chris from Optiseller to talk about the item-specific changes that are coming up. So welcome, Chris.
Thanks a lot, Tom. Hi, everyone. My name is Chris, the head of the Customer Success team here at Optiseller. This webinar is sort of aimed at optimizing item specifics to improve your eBay performance. So I think it's just sort of, something to note, a little bit of a background about me. I've been an eBay user since 2003, and I've ran my own eBay and Amazon marketplace business between the years of 2009 and 2019 full time. After this, I managed an eBay and Amazon account for £100 million a year fashion retailer with over 160 bricks and mortar stores. In addition to that, I've consulted and advised to charities, marketplace agencies on the benefits to using eBay. And in my current role at Optiseller, my role is sort of aimed at helping retailers of all sizes with data optimization work, training on the tools that we offer, general account health, and general eBay trading. And my sort of aim and philosophy is to educate sellers to help their businesses achieve their marketplace potential. And I also train eBay staff on the use of Optiseller tools and eBay best practices. So just a quick run through of the agenda. There's just going to be a quick introduction about Optiseller, what we do, who we are, and then sort of go into the item specifics and why they're so important. Have a look at the latest mandate, and then really get into the nitty-gritty with a demo where I think hopefully you guys will find that really valuable. And then the value of completing all of the item specifics where relevant, and then sort of a summary and any key takeaways followed by a Q&A session. So Optiseller was a company that is the branch of Developing IT Limited, and it was founded in 2004. We have over 12 years experience in e-commerce, specializing in online marketplaces. We've assembled a team of highly experienced industry experts, many of whom have joined us directly from eBay, and other associated partners that you may know of, Channel Advisor, Anna Twine, etc. Several people in our team also run eBay and Shopify stores, so just like you, this gives us a great insight into the benefits and the challenges of selling online. Over the past 9 years, since 2011, we've worked very closely with eBay, and we've developed a deep understanding of how eBay works and what is needed to achieve success consistently on the marketplace. And it'll be my pleasure to be able to share some of that knowledge and experience with you all this morning. So our mission is simple. It's never easy, but we want to help you sell more online. So just to highlight some of the ways that we help retailers to sell more online, we've got sort of the three core competences. We've got the consultancy angle, which is, as well as onboarding new sellers onto eBay, we help hundreds of retailers already on the platform to identify and action growth opportunities every year. We've also got the development angle, where we offer bespoke integration and connectors between retail systems and marketplaces and other tools to help retailers scale their businesses faster. And then we've got the data optimization angle, where Optiseller helps sellers to identify where they are missing the key data and provides an easy-to-use interface to enrich and complete that data. And I'm looking forward to showing you how you can use the Optiseller tools to optimize your eBay listings in a few moments' time. So, simply put, the objective of this webinar is to show you how to sell more on eBay by fully optimizing your item specifics by using the free tools that are available by Optiseller. So just so everybody's on the same page and the same level, just going to briefly have a quick look at what are item specifics and why they're so important. And hopefully this is going to set the scene when we dive into the demo. So item specifics are these nuggets of information that are crucial to your search visibility and sales performance on eBay. They provide important attributes of the product that you're selling. So they can be things such as brand, size type, color, material, and other relevant data. And by populating relevant item specifics, you're ensuring that your listings are easily found by buyers and allowing them to purchase with confidence. So on the screen you can see on the left-hand image, we've taken a screenshot of the left-hand navigation on eBay. And here is an example of just how important the item specifics are in search, as this is the area, or one of the areas, where buyers filter down eBay listings. So just to note, in the middle of the screen, you can see an example of what we would determine a well-optimized item-specific listing. You can see that the seller has inputted item specifics such as brand, material, size type, and features, and which, if we go back to the left-hand navigation image, you can see that all of these are available as the highest ranking filter options. So you can say that this seller is setting themselves up for success. So why do item specifics matter? Well, simply put, item specifics are the SEO for your eBay listings. They provide that keyword-rich data about the items that you're selling. Completing item specifics is essential to ensuring that your products are found on eBay's internal search and also on external search engines such as Google. More and more buyers are using filters to search for products. So this is a critical part of a customer's journey on desktop, but more importantly nowadays on tablet or mobile. So in a nutshell, the more buyers that view your listings, the more sales that you will make. And as a takeaway tip here, also consider including item specifics in your titles as well. So with that all in mind, it's not surprising to know that 55% of all eBay searches include an item specific or some level of filtering. And this goes even higher in fashion categories, where 80% of customers are likely to filter item specifics in the women's fashion categories. So hopefully you've probably heard and received eBay's email that was sent out globally to all sellers on the 3rd of February about the new item-specific mandates. Well, if you didn't get that, obviously it's another reminder from me and us that 22nd of February is the deadline for this mandate. And just to add here, I've recorded a Q&A video about this particular mandate with some of the frequently asked questions. This can be sent across to anybody, but it's available on our blog page and YouTube channel for you to watch as you see fit. So what are the changes with this mandate? Well, the way we shop and what we buy has changed dramatically. And I think we can all agree on this over the past year with lockdowns, non-essential retail shut, and other things. But eBay monitor this and they're continually improving the experience for both the buyer and the seller. And they notice particular categories that are in high demand. So they mandate certain item-specific values for this reason. Customers don't want to trawl through pages and pages of items now. They want to find an item and buy it. And they do this more and more through filtering. So sellers must add newly required item specifics by the 22nd of February. Typically, eBay mandates certain categories and verticals twice a year, and this all started in 2018. This has continued through 2019 and 2020, and we strongly believe that these mandates will continue indefinitely through 2021 and beyond. So what categories or verticals are affected? Well, this pie chart on the left-hand side of the screen is focused purely on eBay UK as an example. Now, this mandate affects all eBay global sites. It's not just the UK, but in this example, we've just chosen the UK. And by verticals, we mean things such as health and beauty, home and garden, fashion, business and industrial, sports and musical instruments. And you can see that there's over 1,250 categories that are affected in total. And if we dive sort of a bit deeper into how the particular verticals are affected, you can see that in the fashion vertical, there are 3 to 4 item specifics or new item specifics that will be required from the 22nd of February. In health and beauty, there's 1 to 3 on average. Home and garden, there's 1 to 2 new item specifics. And then in business, industrial, and then lifestyle categories, there's only 1 new item specific needed. And some of the examples of which include type, department, style, colour, etc. So now you know when the mandate is, what it affects. Well, what happens if you don't take action? Well, if you don't take action before the 22nd of February, you could risk your listings not being found in search because of the new required soon item specifics. You'll find yourself that you won't be able to revise any of the listings affected by the mandate in the categories in the previous slide until you make the new additions to the item specifics. You'll also find that you won't be able to publish fresh new listings in those affected categories without those newly required item specifics as well. So as of the 22nd of February, the item specifics will naturally turn from required soon to required. So all of the above, taking all of that as a summary, it can and will have a significant impact on your sales performance if you don't take action. So that's not something that we want to happen, which is why we developed Aspect Finder Plus. So what is Aspect Finder Plus? Well, it's essentially an eBay SEO tool, and its purpose is to increase your search visibility across the eBay marketplace. Aspect Finder Plus generates a report by reviewing your eBay listings and highlights item specifics that are required soon, recommended, or additional. It tries to automatically provide recommendations and suggestions in line with eBay values. This is all dependent upon the data that's in your listings in the first place. No integration is needed. You just register and link your eBay store and generate a report. And hopefully that you've seen the announcement, but Aspect Finder is free of charge to all sellers globally until the 30th of June 2021. And this is courtesy of eBay. So now we're going to just dive into a demo of Aspect Finder. So I'm just going to share my screen. So I'm hoping that everybody can see this. I'm presuming that that is the case, but once you've signed up and you've linked your eBay store, thanks Tom. Once you've signed up and linked your eBay store, you'll be presented with this page. So you can see the 4 free tools that we've got on offer, which are Aspect Finder Plus, the Single Listing Review tool, the Category Lookup tool, and the Promotion Checker tool. So I'm going to dive in and focus the demo on the Aspect Finder, and if we've got time, perhaps have a look at the Category tool. So as you can see, there's a report that I've generated earlier. But if we just click Start, this is how you will see it for the first time. So you can see you're presented with the option to choose the eBay site that you're trading in. So all of these eBay sites we support with the newest edition of eBay Motors that was launched, I think, November last year. But by default, it will go to the site that you have linked your eBay store and registered your eBay store originally. So because I'm from the UK and this account is UK based, then it's defaulted to the UK. And then you're presented with 3 options. You've got the Download All, the Advanced, and the Required Soon. Download All is the most common option, as it is the default option. And what the Download All does is it literally takes all of your eBay listings and associated categories, provides you with a view on all the item specifics for those listings. The Advanced allows you to choose a particular category or categories as you see fit. So for example, if you were a bookseller, you were like, I just want to focus on non-fiction books, you would scroll through the category and then just click Select, and then you would click Start Process there. You can add, I think, up to 1,000 categories at any one time. So the Advanced option is probably more for people who have got several listings and they just want to do a category at a time. And then the Required Soon option is focused for the eBay mandates. So this will only bring up the categories, if you click Confirm Selection, that are affected by the eBay mandates. You can see that activewear jackets is a category that is affected. So that is also a good one just to get you up for the February mandates. The Download All will give you a view on everything. So if I just go back, the Download All is the one that I'm going to focus on in the demo now. So we just go back into that. So as you can see here, this is a view on a category level with all the categories, the report's based on all the categories that you trade in. As you can see, this sample data, this seller trades in a complete variety of categories. And at the bottom of the page, you will see the relevant totals for each column. So at the top of the page, you've got headings, so things like required. So these are the required item specifics. The required soons, which are the ones that are related to the eBay mandates. If you hover above the eye on each of these, it tells you what they are. The preferred are sort of like the recommended item specifics, and the optional are like the additional item specifics that you can populate. We also have the total listings column, and then the units sold column is quite interesting because if you could sort by the number of listings that you've got the most sales in, and work on your best sellers first. We also give the quantity available column as well. And all of these are sortable. So if you were like, as we said, want to focus on the categories that have got the most sales, you can search and say, well, cycling brake pads is the category that I want to focus on. What I'm going to have a look at is, if we go by the required soons, you can see that there are fishing and fitness and menswear tops, men's socks, all and so on, all have item specifics that need to be completed for those listings. So I'm just going to dive into the men's socks category as an example. So here you're presented with a sort of a GUI layout. Don't worry, it's not as, it is quite easy to understand, and there is a little key here that shows you what the colours actually mean. So it works on a red, amber, green system, where red indicates something is missing, it's something that you need to populate. The orange or amber relates to whether an item specific has been found or is recommended. I'll go into detail about the purple one shortly. The green is obviously good to go, there's no action needed. And the purple is a seller created value. It's the only outlier to the red, amber, green traffic light system. You can just click that arrow there just to see that. So if we just scroll down, you can see there's 8 listings in this particular category, and then over here it's showing that there's no required item specific needed in any of these 8 listings. There's 8 that are required soon, and there's 8 that are being flagged up because they haven't populated all of the preferred or recommended item specifics. So if we have a look at, let's say, the second listing, you can see that it's basically some Puma trainer socks, and you can click on this image here, which tells you what it is. And these are also clickable, so they will go to your eBay, directly opens in a new tab to your eBay page. It also gives you the SKU, and it gives you all of the item specifics for this socks category on a horizontal level. So you can see that there's quite a lot that could be populated here. So this seller has got a fair amount of work to do to really fully optimize their eBay listings. You can see that in the second example, the 2 red required item specifics are good to go. There's no action needed. Then if we move over to the purple ones, you can see that the tool has actually found the type of this. So type, colour, style and department are all the newly required item specifics, and it actually gives you the date on which these are needed by. So the tool has found this, and you can click into any box to see the eBay values. So you can see that in this example, it's a single value item specific. So socks is fine. That's good to go. And you can also see when we clicked on the image that it's found that it's a white pair of socks. So we're already half the way there on the newly required item specifics just by running Aspect Finder. But then if we move over to the style box, what's interesting is this seller has previously populated this, but he's called it ankle socks. Now, it is very correct that they are ankle socks, but they're a little bit too specific, which sounds madness, a bit too specific for an item specific. But the available drop downs in this box static compression, dress socks, etc. But you can see that they're actually trainer socks or sneaker socks. So there is a drop down for sneaker socks. So that seller would need to just click sneaker socks, and then it would come up with a dotted line around it to say recommended. So the seller is sort of 3 over 4 item specifics there. And then the only one that they would need to populate is then department. Well, there is only one option for that, which is men. And something that we're working on in the background is we want to, when it's a single value item specific, we will just map it to that item specific that is a single value to help the sort of help you guys with the population of these new item specifics. We can also take another look at a different example. So if we scroll down to this listing, we look at this at the size box here. You can see that the seller's been a bit too specific again on the size. He actually has the data in there that it's a 10 to 13. And we're recommending that he removes large/extra large and just does the 10 to 13. And you just click that box there and it actually populates it for you. So with that in mind, that then is good to go. But it doesn't, by being populated in the aspect finder doesn't mean that it's immediately populated up to eBay. You would need to either tick these boxes, say you've done those 2 listings, that one and that one, and then send selected to eBay. Or you could say you've done all 8 of them, you just tick that box there to select all and send selected. Alternatively, you have the option to scroll all the way to the right hand side and just click send to eBay there on a one-by-one basis. And also to note, the buyer demand data at the top of each item specific. Now this is where it gets really interesting. This is effectively taking the horse to water with these population and optimization of the item specifics. You can see here that in the socks category, brand is a 3.5 star, a star rating. So you can see that that's quite in demand. On the size, this is less. And what the buyer demand star rating actually means is the amount of customers that are searching and filtering via this or so on, this item specific on the eBay left-hand navigation. So if we go back to the slides earlier on, we had the left-hand navigation bar, you can see that this is where the demand comes into play. So you can actually see one of the newly required item specifics type actually has more demand than brand. Now, I don't know about everyone else, but if it's just for a pair of trainer socks, I'd rather be filtering on socks than I would brand. I'd be less bothered about the brand of it. But the buyer demand, you can see the buyer demand actually continues all the way up to character. So when I go on about populating and optimizing item specifics, all of them where relevant, the prioritization, in my opinion, would begin with the ones that have any star rating at all. Because these are the ones that customers are actually filtering by. And these are based upon a 30-day rolling basis. So these will change once a month. And you might find the seasonality might come into play. So if you were selling seasonal goods, you'd expect to see an uplift. But probably things like socks, maybe not trainer socks, but socks would probably remain consistent the whole year. So it's something for you to have a really good look at with the buyer demand data. It's a relatively new feature for us. It was added towards the end of last year, but we're actually telling you and showing you the ones that customers are using. So our advice would be to fill it in. So also, let's say you've done all your listings and you use a third-party tool. So you don't list directly on eBay and manage your listings that way. You list via a third party, let's say, such as Channel Advisor or Limworks. If you scroll down to the bottom here, we've got the export data options. So we have 4 options here. So you've got the basic format, which is sort of a format that you could be easily manipulated for Linkworks or Channel Advisor. You've got the eBay file exchange format, so anybody who uses file exchange, it's a ready-to-go file that's exported and then can be uploaded to file exchange and straight onto eBay. We've got the eBay MIP format, and we've also got the Magento format for anybody who uses Magento. And this would be the export for this particular category. But if we go back to view the report at category level again, you also have the option to download all of this data. So you get a couple more options here. So again, you've got the basic, the file exchange, the MIP and Magento, but now we have 2 options for file exchange and 2 options for MIP. So you have this option here, all categories would be all categories within one file. It's some feedback that we've had from sellers that would say rather than a single file per category, we just want to be able to upload them all. And the same for the MIP format. You can download all of those individually or in one file. And then you would just say, right, on that basic, and then click the download all data, and then it would start downloading in the bottom left of your screen. So this is effectively Aspect Finder. I just want to give you a little, while we've got time, a little bit of an insight into the category tool as well. So if we just take the same category here, we take a different category this time, 158919, and open the category tool. So you can dive in at any particular category that you like. So if we dive into this one that we've just said, 158919, you can type it in by keyword or category ID. And you can search on any eBay site. So as obviously we know, the category tree can slightly change depending on what eBay site you're on. And this little required soon button would flag up only the categories that are affected by the mandate. If we dive into this one again, you can see that this category, this is the same sort of detail as on Aspect Finder, presented vertically, and obviously without the GUI. You've got the option to see all of the item specifics and their associated values for the categories that you trade in. And you also have the option to download this in CSV or XML format. And it gives you the buyer demand on the star rating column. It tells you whether the items are required, recommended. So this particular type item specific in the injury straps and supports category will become required soon, February this month. And you can scroll all the way down and just see all the item specifics that are associated with that. So I think hand in hand, this tool and Aspect Finder are really quite powerful. We're effectively telling you what information is needed and what customers are searching for. So I think this is sort of the end of the demo. I've just got a couple more slides to finish off, and then we'll go into the Q&A session. Just going to stop sharing now. So hopefully everybody can see this again, and we're back onto the slides. But the value of completing all item specifics, and the takeaway here is complete them all where applicable, is they greatly improve the search visibility of your eBay listings. You reduce the risk of being filtered out in search results, and you've got a great opportunity now to get ahead of further possible eBay mandates and ahead of your competition. You will likely receive lower return rates and possibly less questions asked for your customer service teams to deal with, because you're providing that extra information to a potential buyer. And just to add in here, by populating these required soon item specifics for the mandate, this is just to get your listings to the bare minimum that eBay require. So consider going above and beyond on populating as many relevant item specifics as possible. And by relevant, I mean, for example, character is an item specific in the fashion categories, such as, say, women's boots. Character is an item specific, and some of the drop downs are things such as Aladdin, Disney, etc. And obviously, if you're selling a black pair of knee-length boots, that's not going to be relevant, so you can ignore that one and not populate it. So just to sort of summarise here, most important of all, if you take our advice on board, you will start to see an increase in sales on your listings. And this will naturally, over time, turn around any underperforming or stale listings. So the sort of summary is, we've got 5 steps here, is don't wait until the 22nd of February. Get ahead of your competitors and your competition. Go beyond the mandates while you're working on your listings. So rather than just focusing on the required soon item specifics, while you're in those listings doing that work, populate the recommended and additional item specifics to gain those further listing views and sales. Prioritize any recommended and additional item specifics using the buyer demand data that we mentioned earlier. Remember that star rating in Aspect Finder and the category tool. Take advantage of Aspect Finder. It's free of charge until the end of June this year, and just use it to its fullest to optimize your listings. Keep checking back, because it's likely that eBay, as we mentioned earlier, that eBay will add new mandates. So keep reviewing your listings and use it regularly. And follow our blog for more information and tips on all things eBay. So just before we sort of hand back over to Tom and the Q&A session, we've got a few examples of some testimonials that some sellers and my team have worked with. As you can see, if we take the Carmarthen cameras, since we take the last sentence, since implementing the Optiseller recommended changes, we've seen a 26% improvement in turnover this month to the next, and 42% improvement year on year. So do get in contact with us. We love hearing your feedback, and if you do go ahead and do this work, feed it back to us, because we'd love to hear from you. And one thing I'd like to add is every piece of feedback that we receive on our tools and our service is fed back to the product development team. And I think, thanks everybody for watching, and we can now hand over to Tom.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Chris. I think that was really interesting. I think sometimes with item specifics, it can often feel like a thankless task, and you often don't know what you're quite getting out of it. So I think this is good to highlight how important they are, and that it's not just a box ticking it. So move on. If you do have questions, do pop them into the Q&A box there. I've got a couple that came in beforehand. I think we were talking about this just before we joined the live event, Chris. I think hopefully Chris is still there. It looks like he might have just dropped off, but let's just crack on. Why do eBay keep pushing item specifics? It seems that they have changed a lot around item specifics, and a lot of these changes happen quite regularly. Have you got any insight into reasons behind this or anything like that?
Well, can you hear me, Tom? Am I back? Yep, great. Well, I think as we pointed out in the slides earlier, eBay are continually improving the buying and selling experience for everybody on the marketplace, and they see item specific as the fundamental building block for that. I can completely appreciate that to sellers, they do feel like a tick box exercise. But I've just add a bit of credence here. In my previous role before joining Optiseller, I went through a bit of a project implementing item specifics into my listings. I inherited an eBay account that was performing reasonably. It was part of the eBay brand outlet and associated things, but the item specifics it was effectively brand, and that was it. So it was a bit of an 8-week project, and I monitored the sales the prior 8 weeks compared to the post 8 weeks, and I saw an uplift of 82% increase in sales just by populating item specifics. This was not doing any promotions, this was not doing any vouchers across eBay. This was purely data optimization work. So if I can do it and I can show that, then hopefully everybody who's listening and watching by whatever medium, and hopefully take this on board and see that as well. You might not see the same levels, you might see higher, you might see slightly lower, but it will come over time. And there is a method in the madness of feeling like it is a thankless task. It does work.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Chris. I think that's a good answer. We've got a couple of questions coming in. One from Amulia. Is Aspect Finder free only for the fashion category sellers, or is it free for every seller? An example, is it free for motor sellers? And also, I'm just going to expand on that question as well. How would any of our listeners today go about taking advantage of the free trial or signing up for Optiseller or Aspect Finder?
Yeah, in answer to the questions, yes, it's free for any vertical or category that you trade in, whether that's fashion, motor parts, and there's no listing limit associated with that as well. So yes, you can any category that you trade in, and yes, you can sign up. We're actually in the seller dashboard now on eBay. So if you go into your eBay dashboard, bottom left, the seller hub, you'll actually see Optiseller item specifics tool, so you can join and sign up through that method. Or what will follow this webinar will probably be a landing page that you can sign up with your eBay ID and email address, and then there's just a bit of a sign up process, confirming your email, linking your eBay store, and then kicking off the report and going from there.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. I think just a note to anybody that's listening, we'll be sending out a follow-up email that will have, first of all, the recording of today's webinar along with the slides and any information on how to take advantage of the free offer. Another question coming in here. So item specifics obviously are very relevant to lots of categories, in particular fashion. Is there any categories that some of today's listeners might be selling in that they're not so relevant, or any advice? It's a big piece of work to undertake. Is there any categories that you would actually say, this isn't that important actually?
I think if I take the last point first, I think item specifics are important across all categories. However, yes, you'll find that categories such as the collectibles or antiques categories probably won't have any mandated item specifics. Obviously not for February, as we've pointed out, but they haven't been mandated yet and this started in 2018. I spoke to a seller recently who was actually a collectibles seller, and he was selling prints. So it was prints of towns and counties. For example, I live in Warwickshire, and he was selling a Warwickshire print, and he said, well, if somebody's searching for a Warwickshire print, I'll just type in Warwickshire print. And he was quite anti-item specifics at the start of the call. But then towards the middle and the end, when I was educating him on, as we've said before, it's not just a tick box exercise. When I was pointing out the buyer demand data to this seller, it really changed his philosophy and his thought process on it, because previously he just saw them as, well, they're not particularly relevant to me. But when he saw that these are what customers are searching for, he realized that, oh, I should be filling these in. Yes, it's a mammoth task to backfill, and I completely appreciate that, and I've been through that myself. But I think, as we pointed out in the slides, it can turn around your underperforming listings on your eBay.
Yeah, I think it's sort of a rule of thumb across all platforms, not just eBay as well, that a lot of the time the marketplaces or platforms, whatever it might be, have put these things in place for a reason. So they're definitely worth doing. And item specifics on eBay is exactly that. A few more questions coming in, Chris. So besides from getting more sales, which is obviously the biggest sort of quantifier with anything that you change, what's a good measure of whether my item specifics are working or not?
Well, I mean, you can track obviously your traffic reports within eBay. This is a good indication because obviously the more item specifics are there to increase your visibility on eBay. So you could set a line in the sand to say from this day I've optimized X categories, X number of listings, and then track the traffic reports to see how they're performing. And like for example, you might find I'm trying to think of an example, televisions. I think they have a features item specific where you can input more than one item specific value into there. So you might find which ones work better for you. You might find that by inputting full HD or LED or whatever into that box works better than just putting in say full HD. And you've got the option to populate more than one. So just treat them like going above and beyond. It's the bare minimum what we're talking about with the mandate, and yeah, just keep working on them and keep checking on them from your views, and hopefully you'll see a reduction in the number of questions asked, because we know that's quite a bugbear from sellers. Typically there can be customer service person working full time and answering questions on the different marketplaces, and anything you can do to reduce that time could be spent on that customer service individual, maybe tweaking the listings, adding the item specifics to them.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of sort of trial and error and making sure you're staying on top of your reporting, and just so that you know where you are. Again, rule of thumb across lots of platforms. We've got time for a couple more questions. We touched on it in the demo. I think you can order it in sales numbers and things like that. I think we touched on it again. It can be a mammoth task going and doing this work. What would you say is the best way of prioritising which listings need to be actioned first? Is it purely on sales data, or is it prioritising listings that might have lots of item specifics missing? Just a question around prioritisation, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think the prioritisation in what I would do is I'd focus on the required and the required soon item specifics first, get those done, and then maybe order them by the number of solds. So work on your best sellers. If you've got 80% of your sales coming from one or two categories, well, you would want to focus on the categories that you've got the most sales in. So that would be my advice. But obviously, while you're in there, I think we touched base on this before, but don't just do the minimum ones. Do fully populate all the orange ones, all the recommended preferred ones, and the optional and additional ones as well. It really is. You really will start to see increases across the board and across your whole eBay, because the stronger sales history that you get on your listings will help your other listings naturally.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chris. A couple more. Question around pricing for Aspect Finder. So obviously it's free till June next year, I think you said. Or is it this year?
It's June this year. Yeah, another 4.5 months ish.
What's the pricing like after that?
I mean, the pricing after is on the £25 a month package, and that is the price, and that would be the starter plan, and that would include the dashboard as well. It's not a tool that is free of charge that we could go into detail today, but that is a tool that would give you a good visibility on the areas that you need to improve. Obviously, item specifics being one of those. So yeah, it's £25 a month from 30th of June as we stand, if the decision is not to extend. I don't have any information on that further extension at the minute.
I think even at that price, it's a couple of sales, maybe even one sale that pays for it really. I think we're going to wrap up there. I just want to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank Chris for doing the demo today and going through all the changes that are upcoming. I think that's really, really useful. All of our information and contact information is on the screen now, so do get in touch with myself or Chris with any questions. Like I said, in the next few days, anybody that's listening today will receive a copy of the slides, along with some additional information on how to sign up for Aspect Finder and things like that. So once again, just like to thank Chris and the listeners today, and hopefully we'll speak to you all again soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tom. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.